We are staying on top of that breaking news. A federal judge has just ordered the release of Columbia University graduate and legal permanent resident Mahmoud Khalil. CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen has been following all this and joins us with the latest. Jake, thank you very much for being with us. Tell us what happened during his court hearing today.
Well, that's right. There's been kind of a ping pong back and forth between the Justice Department and Khalil's attorneys for the last week or so after a judge in New Jersey said that Khalil last week could not be detained on a declaration from Marco Rubio that said that his remaining in the United States was a threat to national security. The judge did not explicitly order his release out of all the charges, which is what was at the center of conversation today. There are allegations by the Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security that there was some misstatement of facts on his green card application years ago, which is the secondary charge, and the Department of Justice and DHS held him for over a week on those charges, saying that, yes, they understood the judge's order that they did not need to release him on one, but they were going to hold him on the other charge. The judge held a hearing today, in which the Department of Justice and attorneys simply had no evidence to why Khalil remaining or was a threat to the community if he were to be released, asked for additional evidence of any kind of violent protest that he had been a part of. As we know, really, there has been no explanation, not just in this case, but in many others, of what actual violence these students have taken or calls for actual violence these students have said in their protests at Columbia University or other schools. The judge has ordered Mahmoud Khalil's release effective immediately once he submits a paper order to such extent. He's currently detained in Louisiana at an ICE detention center. This has been really the rallying cry, and he was the first student who was detained by the Trump administration, and really this completes a full loss by the Trump administration, who has continued to try to hold students for their pro-Palestinian or pro-Gaza stances or anti-Israel remarks during protests over the last couple of years since October 7th. And in every case, the Department of Justice has not won legal arguments as to detaining these people as their immigration proceedings have played out.
And Jake, as we understand, it could take a few hours in order for him to actually walk out. Is that really the end of all of this? Is that, this is a case that has captured so much attention, not only here in the United States, but around the world. Is this really essentially it now?
It's certainly not the end. What we actually heard from Khalil's attorneys in a different case, the attorneys said that they actually received a call or a text during today's proceedings saying that the immigration judge in Louisiana had found Khalil removable because of the national security declaration. So the Department of Homeland Security continuing to try to deport a legal permanent resident of the United States. That proceeding will continue to play out in Louisiana, but Khalil is likely to be returned to New York and New Jersey sometime soon. The Department of Justice also asked for a one-week stay of this order so that it could appeal to a higher appeals court. The judge denied that, but the Department of Justice attorney said they're likely to appeal almost immediately. He will still be likely to be out of detention while this plays out.
Jake, thank you very much for this insight on this breaking news. We really appreciate it.